Alrighty, today we're going to do law of cosines. Basically, the important stuff is right here. That's the important stuff. Now, that's all in relation to this triangle. So, lowercase a, lowercase b, lowercase c, those are all the sides. And then capital A, capital B, capital C, those are the angles. So, when we're talking about angles, we're talking about these three right here. Hopefully, remember that the sum of all the angles in a triangle adds up to 180. And let's go and get started. So using this formula, or these formulas right here, they're usually going to tell us probably half the information. So two sides and an angle. They want us to find A, so we're finding this side, so we could probably use this top equation right here. So I don't know what A squared is. I know B squared is going to be 5 squared. 7 squared is C squared. Minus 2 times my B is 5, my C is 7, and then I have cosine, oh, I'm sorry, we know cosine of A, or at least we know what A is, it's 39. Next step, let's go ahead and do all of our, multiplication, adding, all that stuff. So I get 25, 49, and that makes 70 cosine of 39 degrees. Be sure our calculator is in radians and not degrees. I'm sorry, make sure it's in degrees and not radians because we're dealing with degrees. And then last thing, let's just go ahead and add some stuff together. So I got 25 and 49, that makes 74. Minus 70 cosine of 39 degrees. And then the last thing, if I want to figure out what A is, we got to take the square root. So be sure we put all this in the calculator and then take the square root, or put it on the calculator underneath the square root. We're going to get A is like 4.427, I think, or if you want to say 4.43, that works for me. So basically just plugging and chugging. Not a whole lot of problem solving or brain work going there. Example 2, kind of the same thing. I'll switch up colors on you. Doing the same thing. So we're trying to find this guy right here. So the same thing. So A squared equals 5 squared plus 4 squared minus 2 times 5 times 4 times cosine of 51 degrees. Okay, so we'll do all of our multiplication, addition, subtraction, all that stuff. Be sure you take the square root of all that, and we're going to get 3.978. That's A, 3.978, or if you want to say it's 4, if you want to round to that, that's cool. That would make it an isosceles triangle, which is fine. So yeah, anyway, that would make that one 51 degrees as well, this angle, and that would be 78, I think. So that's cool. And then the last one, number 3. This tells us a lot of cool info. It says that x3, y7, z is 9, but we don't have any angles. So that's what we're trying to find, is the measure of angle z. Well, that's awesome and everything, but we don't know which side's x, we don't know which side's y, we don't know which side's z. Well, the cool thing about triangles is that the one opposite the side from the angle is x. The one opposite the angle y is the side y, and z. So that means that x in this case is 3 here, this one's 7, and this one is 9. We want to figure out what this angle is, z. So I'm going to use that last formula. So z squared, so 9 squared, equals my other 2 squared, so 3 squared plus 7 squared, minus 2 times the other 2, 3 times 7, and then cosine, because the law of cosines, and then I don't know what z is. Okay, then I'm squaring everything, so 81, that's an 81, that's an 81. 9 plus 49 minus 43, 42, sorry, 42. And then cosine of z. And from here, it's just kind of some simple algebra. Add this together, that gives us 58. Subtract from 81, I get 23, equals negative 42 cosine of z. Next thing, we're going to divide by negative 42. I'm just doing some algebra now. So I get negative 23 over 42 equals cosine of z. The last thing, which most of you probably figured out by now, I'm going to do the inverse of cosine. So cosine, oops. So the inverse of cosine of -1 of that -23 over 42. Anytime we're trying to find an angle, we're always going to do the -1 power, that second cosine function. And I get 123.2 degrees. Sure your calculator's in degrees when you do that. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.